Hey everybody, welcome to the KenCast, episode 4. A little late. I was planning on doing this one over, fall break, or no, Thanksgiving break, to talk about Thanksgiving and be a little sentimental. I'm like, you guys probably just ate good food, have had fun with some family, had a coma afterwards, we ate too much food, and you probably just called it then, right? So, you know, take it as you will. But now Thanksgiving's finished out of everyone's mind, and apparently, even though it's November, we set up for Christmas. We might as well talk about Christmas, right? So I was actually kind of lost on ideas because I go into these with literally no idea what I'm talking about, right? And so I went to my Snapchat group, right? It's called Howdy. It's got a couple of my friends in there, right? So I'm like, okay. I just asked them about a minute ago, literally a minute ago, because it's 12 a.m. right now. It's 12 a.m. when I started recording, but I asked them, okay, what topic do I do for the KenCast? I'm like, okay, Christmas. I'm like, okay, makes sense because it's apparently Christmas right now, right? And second was baby animal names, right? I'm like, okay, sure. The main thing I want to talk about is my birds, right? So my birds, Olive and Cappuccino, in this case shortened to Chino, had a baby about a month ago, right? We decided they were 2 eggs, right? 2 eggs, and we're like, okay, we have no idea how to look at these 2 eggs. I don't have time to look at the 2 eggs, so I asked Ryan to look at them, right? We kind of just let them go, as parents, as grandfathers, as we are. We're very, we don't really know what we're doing. So I'm over here kind of panicking. Ryan's also kind of panicking. Dad is like, nah, doesn't matter, right? They're just birds. I'm like, okay, sure, sure. So about a week and a half passed, right? And it's like, okay, they're supposed to hatch about this time. I think it was 2 weeks to 1.5 weeks, right? We do see one hatch, or at least Ryan does, right? And I posted pictures of that. He was hideous. I think it was absolutely hideous. And the problem with birds, right? Okay, aside from the fact that they're hideous, right, as children, but let's be honest, most things are in a cute, disgusting way. I mean, if you look at your newborn, right, they're kind of, this is kind of mean, but I have to say they're kind of disgusting. Especially coming straight out, they're kind of repulsive, right? Birds even worse because there's no feathers on the bird, so it's just like a pink mole rat with a beak. That's like a quarter the size, an eighth the mass, right? So it's like, it's kind of repulsive. Repulsive stories of it, kind of cute at the same time, right? Another problem is that we can't tell their gender. I have no idea how to tell a bird's gender. And we're like, okay, let's search it up because we don't even know Olive and Chino's gender, right? Search it up, and it's like, we can't tell. There's a couple ways of doing it. You can look at their, I think it's their pelvic bones. I think a male has a slightly higher one. And with Chino, we assume Chino's a guy and Olive's a girl because Chino's doing the mating call. Funny story, we actually misinterpreted the mating call as fighting, so we assumed that the person who gave us these birds was like kind of an idiot. Maybe that's mean. That's probably really mean. That's really mean. But I assumed he was kind of an idiot. For giving us 2 birds that fight. It's like he gave us 2 males, right? And lo and behold, the eggs. Okay, so after 2 weeks, baby comes out. The other egg, we looked at it, nothing in it, so it was just unfertile the entire time. It's like, oh, but it's better that way. I think it's better that way. Because in all honesty, I don't want another bird. I don't want another bird because I'm almost certain right now, right? Chino and Olive are having at it again, and there might be another bird. There might be more birds, which is a problem because I don't want to take care of my birds. More birds, there's more poop around the house, it's more food we have to buy, it's more water to do, it's more cleaning of this cage / closet because we modified a closet to make it into a cage. It was actually genius. We saved like $50, so it was worth it. It was worth it, right? Anyway, back to the baby, right? We had to think of a name that was gender neutral. So, a couple of things come in mind. Ryan is one of them. We called it Susan. It's like, out of all the things you're gonna name, it's like you asked me, Kenny, out of all the things you could have named this bird, you called it Susan as a gender neutral name? Like, yes. It's like, are you an idiot? Yes, but there is reasoning. There's logic to my idiocy. Okay. There's a character in a League of Legends game called Nasus. Okay. This is just like, you don't have to know anything about it other than the fact that he's a guy. Okay. But when people play him, when people say his name backward, it's Susan. So we're like, okay, we'll just name this bird Susan, and if it's a guy, we'll call him Nasus, right? Or Nasus, or however the heck you pronounce that name. I have no idea. I don't know, right? Susan is acting more and more like a guy, but at the same time, the name Susan has caught on. So essentially, I am a grandparent. I've looked at this child, and I've determined that to give it a name that could be interchangeable. But I've said to this guy child, essentially, the girl named so many times, I've essentially been okay with naming my probably guy bird Susan. And my mom was like, you shouldn't call your bird Susan. I'm like, why not? Susan, right? And she's like, you can't call animals by human names. I'm thinking, is that like an unwritten rule? Because dogs, for example, right? I think the most common, or not common, definitely not common at all, but a dog name would be like Max, right? And it's like, oh, well, Max is kind of a guy name. It's more like a dog name now. Sorry for any Maxes out there. And then it's like, okay, I kind of get that. And I'm like, okay, what about my friends, right? What do they name their dogs? And Mackenzie names one of her dogs Penny. It's like, perfect, right? It's like it matches her fur color. No, I was gonna say skin color, but I think it's fur. I think it's fur color. So it matches her fur color, right? I was like, okay, that makes sense. But then her other dog is named Haley. I'm like, Haley's definitely a human name. Don't pull anything with me here. Haley's definitely a human name. So I've been on the fence about this particular topic, right? Is it okay to name an animal after a human name, right? Because, there are some opportunities. Off the top of my head, I already think of some opportunities, right? One thing is like you're in a call, right? And say so you're talking to someone and it's like, hey, Susan, stop that, right? Susan, stop what you're doing. Get off the bed, right? And it's like, Susan, like, there's a couple ways you can take this, right? I won't take it too far because there's a certain point where I delve into, inappropriate things, right? Where it's like, say so I had 4 birds. I have 3. I have 4, 6, however many birds, right? And I'm like, I described the birds in a way that caused a great misunderstanding. For instance, would you like to meet Susan? It's like, who's Susan? Yeah, I've known her about a year now. She's been living at my house. We've gotten really close, let's say, to the point where I'm able to, touch on, like, you see this, right? If you didn't know this was a bird, right, you'd think, this man is getting it, right? But since it's a bird, it's like, the context, given the context that it's a bird, it's not a big deal, because Susan is the only bird right now that lets me hold it. I'm shaking the crap out of my mic, but Susan's the only bird right now that consistently lets me hold her. Probably due to the fact that it can't fly too well. It's probably that. But it's also probably due to the fact that, well, I literally watched her. I'm just gonna switch between. I watched her grow up. So it's like I'm technically a grandfather that she's known a couple times. When you meet relatives, you don't know who they are. And for me, you get very, what's the word? You become very antisocial. Because, let's say, your boy is not a very, outgoing person, right? So, in the event that he does know his friends, he's very outgoing to the point where he will be a little ridiculous, sometimes a little too eccentric when he's with friends, right? But when he's with family, when he's with people he doesn't really know too well, especially family he doesn't really know too well, it's like double kick in the face, right? It's like, oh my god, oh my gosh, ow, oh, Windows update just turned on and oh my gosh, my ears hurt. What is my volume? It is 90. Who turned it to 92? Anyway, where was I? Shoot. Wow, that was so painful. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. Okay, okay. Okay, back to antisocialism. Anyway, so this is especially evident when it comes to when you're very reliant on another person. For instance, me and my brother are very close, and the fact that as children, since our parents are gone out to work, right, we had gone really close, especially with Steven as well. We babysat Steven, so he's like a brother to us, right? And so we grew really close, right? And so in the event that we didn't know what was going on, or in any event relative, right, I would hug to Ryan. I would never hug Ryan. I would never hug Ryan, but I would hug to Ryan, right? I would cling to Ryan, there's the word I'm looking for, and he would like cling to me, and essentially, right, and we'd kind of just be awkward together. So no matter who it was, even if it was cousins around our age, right, we would just like nothing, just no talking whatsoever. We don't even look at adults in the eyes. The only time we're like, okay, you need to go talk to people, right, is when our parents says, you need to go introduce yourself to all your to all the people at the party, right? Usually it's like a Chinese New Year party or something like that. It's like, introduce yourself to all these people, and we're just like, insert excuses, mumble, and he's like, oh, go ahead, and just pushes him like, please, why you do this to me? And now we're in a house with triple the amount of people, and 2/3 of the people we don't know. Brings up a good story. I think it was, I don't know how long this was ago, probably elementary school. We would try to play the whole, or I would try to play the, I guess I am kind of I like attention. So I'm still nervous about these people, right? So what I do is that I would crawl under a table and pretend they wouldn't see me. This table, right? This table, you can definitely see me, right? There's no, like, if you walked in the room, you would see me, right? You'd be like, what the heck is this kid doing, right? And here I am, essentially, in a way, trying to pretend like people don't see me to get, people to laugh at me. I was that kid. I was kind of a jokester kind of guy. Still nervous as heck. No doubt. Nervous as heck. But I would just sit under the table, right? And, I kind of laugh it off. And it's like, hey, who's that under there? I'd be like, there's no one under here. Because it's like, oh, who's not here in school? Raise your hand. And then everyone raises their hand. They think they're freaking smart or something. Anyway, that was me. And I continue this. And I think I still do this, right? If I go to a party and there's adults there, I am so unbearably awkward. I am so unbearably awkward. Ridiculously awkward. Let me think of an example. I think I went to my cousin's house a while ago. Just to hang out, right? Literally just to hang out. I think it might have been a birthday, but as far as I know, it was just to hang out, right? And talking to their cousins, right? We had already gone to hang out for Eliches. I finally got to actually know their names. I'm sorry, I'm a horrible person. I'm really bad with names. I know them for I quote unquote known them for 7 years. I finally got to know their name. So I go over to their house, right? 4 girls. Most of them are in college to high school level, right? And it's like, okay, we got to know them. And when I tried to talk to their parents, whom of which speak good English, they speak very fluent English, I could not keep a conversation. It was ridiculous. It's like when I'm talking to someone that I like, right? You just can't think. Everything just flies out of your head. All the jokes you have with your friends, right? All those things that you have with your friends just flies out. It's just gone. Nothing you can talk about. Just over. I'm here just like, I almost look like I'm preaching because I'm making rays in my brain. Like, there's nothing here. There's nothing there. And it's horrible. There's probably other people that have this. I doubt I'm the only person. I hope not. Right? I don't know. I want to get rid of this. I know it's like, oh, you have to work on it, right? It's like, General, you have to work on it. I'm like, Jeffrey, what do you mean, right? Jen, you have to try to get out of your comfort zone, talk to more people, right? Put yourself in a situation where, let's say, where you can, actively challenge yourself. I'm like, no. Listen, Jeffrey. Listen. Yes, sir? Listen. If I'm ever going to do that, right? Let's say this. I would never do that. I would just flat out never do that. I'd rather be that guy who never puts himself in that situation and actively avoids it so that I never have to deal with it. I never have to improve if I'm never in that conversation. I never have to improve if I'm never in that condition, in that environment where I have to do that. It's kind of romantic in a way, in the fact that not like romantic, lovey-dovey romantic, but more so romantic as in unrealistic, right? It's unrealistic to be in that scenario, but I'm going to keep thinking that way. It's kind of, I don't know, anyway, moving on from there. I feel like I should talk about more ridiculous stuff like that. More like, I'm reminded of domics right now. Right? Like hypotheticals, right? Hypothetically speaking, right? One of them was, I hate to steal it for the idea, but it was like, at what point do you draw the line between a cyborg and a human, right? It's like, okay, there's an argument, I'll argue both sides here, right? You're a cyborg when you've been genetically augmented, right, to be better, right? That's how it started, right? So it's like, okay, let's lay down a baseline, right? If I tape a gun to my hand, right, am I a cyborg, right? And it's like, well, General, what do you mean? It's like, well, Jeffrey, if I tape a gun to my hand, right, I've technically enhanced myself. I've given myself, right, a better ability to kill people, right? Therefore, I've increased my aptitude for lethality, essentially. And it's like, sir, I don't think that counts. Why do you think it counts, Jeffrey? Well, it's like, it's not really part of you. It's like, think about this way, right? It's not part of me, but like, I taped it to my hand, so it's part of me in that way. And if I never got rid of it, it's technically part of me, right? I was like, no, that's not how it works. Well, okay, tell me how it would work then. It has to be inside you. It's like, oh, okay. So if I cut my hand and glued it, would that work, right? Because if you're saying that, right, wouldn't that mean anyone with a pacemaker, anyone with like art, and it's metallics inside their body? Isn't that at that point, aren't they cyborgs? And now you reach a problem, right? What ratio of human to robot makes a cyborg, right? Because I'm thinking to One Punch Man in this case, right? One of the characters, his name is Genos, right? And he identifies as a cyborg, and it makes sense because you look at his body, that guy doesn't even have a heart. As far as I know, the only thing he has is a brain, right? So I guess we delve more into, branch away from that, right? Branch away from Domix and stealing that idea, we'll just keep going. Is a brain what marks a human, right? Because if you got rid of a human's leg, right, and you placed it with prosthetic leg, like, as people in war have gone, right? They're still human, no doubt, right? You would never refer to that man as non-human, unless you're a horrible person, right? If you replace 2 legs, still human. If you replace all 4 arms, all four appendages, right? It's like, you're still human. At what point is it no longer a human? You might think, okay, well, think about the organs, right? Because, muscles you can always just replace, right? There's let's say people out there like, okay, well, get me, steel, carbon and steel enhanced muscles, right? That can hold hundreds and hundreds of times more things than our muscles can, right? And if they rip, you can always just repair them, right? Nano machines, that kind of thing. Distant future, but nonetheless. So, more or less, a lot of people, if I pulled out the brain, would say, well, if you got rid of the brain, it's probably no longer human, right? Well, what if you uploaded your brain to a computer? And you hook that computer up to your new robotic body, right? You've gotten rid of all of your body, right? And you still have your brain. You may still be considered human, right? Because you still have a human brain. So, in a way, you still have the rights of humans, right? You still live under the laws of humans, right? Even if you're missing every single body part except your brain, right? Think about it. If I had lost every single part of my body except my brain, right? Killing someone, I'd still go to jail, right? I still have the right to the I still have the right to the pursuit of happiness, right? I still have all those things. I'm still given human rights in that way. So if I got rid of my brain and attached it to a computer, and the computer was given to me, and I was able to communicate, would I then still have human rights? Essentially, I'm still a human at that point, right? Am I not? Kind of existential, right? Kind of. I think that might be the wrong word, but kind of existential in that way. And this brings up a movie I watched. It's called Ghost in the Shell, right? The first movie we watched, we happened to pick the wrong one, and it happened to be just a kind of a no one really knew what was happening. Cool fight scenes, right? Insert cool fight scenes. Insert cool mechs that are fighting each other, right? And so okay, sure, why not? But then we listened to the original, and the original played on the idea of, again, what makes a human, right? Because think about this, right? The blueprint for your body pretty much comes from DNA, right? I can make an exact copy of anyone's body based off their DNA, right? So in other words, DNA and your body alone does not make you human. It doesn't make you, I should say. I should clarify, right? If I switched out your body, right? If I made another copy of you, right? Same body, it's still not you, right? You think differently, right? You think differently. Why do you think differently? Well, it's your brain. More specifically, it's your memories. Everything you've done up to this point is built up on the memories you've collected, right? You don't like to talk in a group environment because as a young child, you were told not to talk in a group environment, right? And that stuck with you, right? You were told never to feel failure because at a young age, when you failed, right, they encouraged you to keep going, and then you got the answer. You kept doing it like that, right? Or maybe this, right? They encourage you not to be racist because as a young child, you made friends with everyone, right? So say this, I got your body, right? I made the DNA blueprint of your body, and I got your body exactly the same, right? There's another Kenny, right? Exact same body, and I implemented into his brain the memories of myself. Is that me? Is that Kenny 2.0 me? He has my memories, right? And he has my body. That means he has my way of thinking, and he has every physical aspect. He's got the mental and physical aspect of me. Is that person me? This movie, Ghost in the Shell, attempted to tackle that. And it said, well, what do you think? And some people, and a lot of people, say no. Right? And a lot of people say yes. I personally said yes the first time I thought about it. Right? But in a way, I changed it to no. And I'll show both sides now, right? In a way, saying no is almost like it's an instinct, it's an urge to say no. This is really delved a little more seriously, but it's an urge within you to say, no, that's not Kenny. Kenny's over there. That's not Kenny on the right. Kenny on the left, that's the real one, right? But then if you blinked and we switched around for a little minute, how could you tell which one is me? That's the other way, right? You've pretty much made a human because you've given them thoughts, memories, and the same body. But this movie, Ghost in the Shell, says it's not the same thing. There's something else within humans that we simply can't replicate. We don't know what it is, right? In this case, they refer to it as like a soul or a ghost. And it was kind of cryptic, right? Didn't really tell you what it was. But it was the idea that even though there's another me with the exact same memories, the exact same body, it would not be me. Sure, you could say, oh, you guys are in two different places at the same time, but that's kind of trivial in a way, right? You move all the time. It doesn't matter your position or your place in time, essentially. So I guess I want to pose a question then. It's kind of odd to just think about it, right? What makes you special? Kind of, this might be stressful for a couple of you, but please don't let that be the case, right? But what makes you human if not your memories and your body? What makes you special if not the memories you've accumulated in your body? Your physical traits, right? And if we were to replicate all of that, make a body from the DNA blueprint you have, and make and be able to synthesize memories to put into you and make you a whole new person, right? And to make that clone the exact same as another one, and to make people. I've made these living things that are the exact same. Are they the same thing? Is this Kenny clone the same thing as real Kenny? Just think about that, right? What makes you special? I was planning on this KenCast being a little more lighthearted, especially as going through the beginning, right? But that's kind of, I don't know. I don't think about these things often. Definitely not. And I don't think a lot of people do, right? I just happen to have Ryan, who stimulates a lot of these things because, having someone to talk to, right? If I talked about him about now, right, I don't know how to invite people on the KenCast. And as honestly, I could probably find a way to, mix the two voices together. But what I use as a mic is a headset, so I'm not sure if we're gonna have the same microphone quality, right? If we both talk into it from the same angle, I can't. I don't really know, right? And I doubt he'd be comfortable in this kind of situation. If I got him talking, maybe. Because then we kind of forget that the mic is there. Like, I kind of forget that I was rambling on about 16 minutes about this idea of, what makes a human, what makes a person special. But I guess it kind of devolves into that once you start thinking about those kinds of things. Now, there's other things you can think about as well. Nothing comes to mind right now. But, let me tell you how the movie ended, first off, at that, right? The main character, who's been searching for this idea of, what makes a person special, right? Ultimately decides to link up with the villain in a way, right? To become part of the internet, right? To integrate themselves into the internet forever as a way to, solidify their existence, right? And, she chooses to do that, right? She chooses to abandon her own, body memories in a way to accept everything. Kind of odd to say that, but everything. And she was reincarnated as a small child. There's some themes and stuff like there, but take it as you will, right? I won't go into that. This isn't a literacy class. I don't want to go into any in-depth analysis, right? But essentially, there was no answer, and the main character picked the "I'm going to find out" route instead of "I'm going to let it go." I doubt we'll find an answer to what makes a human so special. You could say consciousness, but again, consciousness is so difficult to define. Like, what is mind kind of thing? What are thoughts kind of thing? Like, where do thoughts come from kind of thing? Reddit/shower thoughts if you guys want to do anything more like that, right? But this has gone a little too serious, I think. Little too serious, little too thought-provoking nonetheless, right? Thought-provoking undoubtedly, but a little too serious. So I'll pull it out with a random shower thought, right? I can't think of one. And I'm sad because I had one. No, I had one. Shoot, what was it called? Okay, well, I'll tell you where I get these shower thoughts or other shower thoughts. It's on Reddit. It's literally a Reddit subreddit called Shower Thoughts, right? So you can find it. Shower thoughts. Oh, no, there's so many shower thoughts. There's so many shower thoughts. Anyway. I don't know. If you want anything thought-provoking, right? Anything on that, right? Go to Reddit/shower thoughts. Sometimes, it's small things like, let's say, I can't think of anything right now, which makes me feel really sad. I'm sorry, I just banged the table. I can't think of anything right now, which makes me kind of sad. I wish I could. I really wish I could. Much smaller things. It was something with pandas. It had to be something with pandas. I don't remember what it was with pandas. Something with pandas. And I'm sad because I feel like if I were to title this, it'd be KenCast episode 4 Pandas. And you'd have no idea what I'm talking about till the end of the episode where I'm just thinking about pandas. I'm now kind of sad because all I remember is pandas. Anyway, thank you for start cut. Thank you for listening to the KenCast. I We'll be trying to do these every single Friday. Every single Friday, I will try to have another KenCast episode out. I just get really lazy. And it's like, oh, it's a small thing, right? And it's fun, right? But I just get really lazy. I don't do college apps. I'm that kind of lazy. Oh, I have a shower with that, right? The only reason you're productive is because there's something out there that you could be doing that is more productive. For example, I only do well in school because I keep ignoring the fact that I haven't signed up for scholarships and I haven't applied to colleges. There's probably some examples in your life. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a lovely night or day or whenever you watch this. And yeah, see you nerds.